Coming up on Falcon Weekly, millions of people love shopping on Black Friday, but now there's backlash against stores starting their Black Friday deals on Thanksgiving Day. Hear reactions from UM students.
And trying to find something to cook for dinner? Now there's an app for that. We'll show you how smartphones are making Thanksgiving dinner easy.
Plus, everyone has a cell phone, but for women, where they carry their phone could be deadly. Find out why coming up on Falcon Weekly. Welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Michael Artris.
And I'm Sarah Leifer. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanksgiving is this week, and that means Black Friday will soon be here.
And a record number of shoppers are waiting to snap up some deals. Consequently, stores are stocking up earlier than ever for this year's highly anticipated Black Friday. The National Retail Federation has released its preliminary survey of expected Black Friday shoppers. The survey predicts up to 147 million Americans will shop over the holiday weekend, both online and in stores. Some retailers are even starting their deals early Thanksgiving evening to help minimize crowds.
Now, Walmart, Toys R Us, Sears, and Target are some of the stores that will kick off their deals on Thanksgiving Day. Shoppers may be excited about getting discounts earlier, however, others aren't so thrilled. Lindsay Sievert has more.
At Target, shelves are decked and decorations hung with visions of sales galore. Black Friday shoppers get an earlier Christmas gift this year, with doors opening at 9 Thanksgiving night.
I'll be here. Definitely, I'll be here.
Paco Calafala is a devout Target shopper who plans to score some deals.
50-inch LCD TV, for sure.
Target says opening up at 9 o'clock Thanksgiving night provides an after-dinner shopping event with the family. But online, many employees argue it takes those values away. On Change.org, a Target employee from California started a petition to save Thanksgiving for family. Around 150,000 people signed in support, similar to last year.
I believe I'm standing for the greater good here.
When employees protested Target's midnight opening.
It's a valid point. Thanksgiving is a family time. How far are we going to go for retail and commercialism?
There's an appetite for shopping, and it's becoming earlier and earlier.
University of St. Thomas marketing professor John Seltzer says it comes down to competition, and stores like Target are simply supplying a demand.
Nobody wants to come in second in that race. So it's really a question that, look, at people are thinking about shopping, they want to go shopping.
Like Paco, even though this year, his job at a call center requires him to work on Thanksgiving too.
It's part of my paycheck. You know, I get a lot of time to spend with my family on, my days off, and I use that time wisely.
In response to being open on Thanksgiving, the United Food and Commercial Workers Union and its lesser branch called Our Walmart are calling for employees to skip work on Black Friday. But now Walmart is fighting back against a planned walkout by workers on the busiest shopping day of the year. Walmart filed a complaint with the federal agency accusing a labor union of illegally organizing picket lines and other demonstrations. The planned walkouts come after a small strike at a Los Angeles Walmart in October that spread to 12 other cities.
Many Montevallo students will have to work extra hours on Thanksgiving to prepare for Black Friday. Falcon Weekly's Ashley Rogers joins us live on campus with more on the story. Ashley?
Well, Michael, the holiday shopping season will be underway this Friday as shoppers flood stores searching for the best deals. The question is, at what cost? One shopper feels sympathy for all the workers that will be facing hundreds this holiday weekend.
I think that working on a Black Friday, especially early in the morning, who has time to recoup?
Various stores are opening even earlier this year after record shopping highs in 2011. Kmart, Walmart, Toys R Us, and Target all have new hours. Some Black Friday workers say that the hectic shopping day really isn't all that bad.
You should remember your culture and your heritage, and that's what Thanksgiving is there for you to give thanks and remember why we're here in the U.S. in the first place. Black Friday, on the other hand, I don't feel like that is a part of the holiday. That's jumping to the next holiday, which is Christmas.
For me, in my experience, I believe a lot of it is pretty good for economic-wise and everything, but like if you're working, it's very hectic for like the workers. Because sometimes you have happy customers and then sometimes you have dissatisfied customers.
With many businesses expecting even more customers than last year, their main goal is to keep both the customers and their workers happy. Reporting for Falcon Weekly, I'm Ashley Rogers.
Thanks, Ashley. Black Friday isn't the only day to get good deals for holiday shopping. Online shoppers surf the web on the Monday after Thanksgiving, known as Cyber Monday. Our resident tech doctor, Matt Sanderlin, shows us some of the biggest online deals in this week's Tech Check.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to this week's Tech Check. I'm Matt Sanderlin. This week in Tech Check, we're going to take a look at Cyber Monday sales, which are the big sales that online retailers have the Monday after Black Friday. As you can see, Amazon.com has already started doing a lot of their Cyber Monday sales, even today. They've got memory cards on sale, they've got video games and workout equipment and watches and just about everything you can imagine. Now I've got Casey Beasley here with me today. Casey, what do you think about Cyber Monday? Do you participate?
I personally appreciate Cyber Monday because it's so much more convenient than having to get out and brave the crowds on Black Friday. You know, nobody's going to push you down trying to get a puzzle or a flat screen for their kid, and you can just sit there on your computer and get the same exact stuff done without all the hassle.
This is true, and still for pretty good prices too. And then, I mean, I guess you have to wait a couple of days or something for shipping, but you know, that's not too bad. But yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Like I said, some of the retailers have already started doing their Cyber Monday sales, but a lot more will be doing them on actual Cyber Monday. Thanks for checking in with us here at Tech Check. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Matt. Well, Thanksgiving is approaching rapidly, and that means it's time to start planning the big meal. Karen Kaifa tells us about a new mobile app that helps cooks keep track of their Thanksgiving to-do list. Here's this week's Clicked In.
For those tasked with hosting a Thanksgiving meal, give thanks for some apps that can make cooking a little easier. The Thanksgiving Menu Maker app from Fine Cooking for iPad does just what it implies. Recipes range from starters to desserts. Create a shopping list of ingredients and make a schedule of what to buy and what to cook when. There's even a Thanksgiving 911 feature with the most common Turkey Day troubles and how to fix them. Cooks tackling turkey for the first time can try the Chow Thanksgiving Dinner Coach. The app has step-by-step instructions for the most popular Thanksgiving dishes, from buying items in the supermarket to stuffing them in the oven. The Thanksgiving Recipes app for Android also includes instructions for the main dish and many traditional sides. And Turkey Titan Butterball takes its Thanksgiving Day hotline high-tech with the Butterball Cookbook Plus app. In addition to answering common turkey questions, there are how-to instructional videos and recipes. The app even responds to voice commands so chefs can avoid smudges on their screens. I'm Karen Kaifa, and you're now Clicked In.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, don't forget that the university closes at 2 p.m. Tuesday for the break. If you're unsure if you're having class that day, make sure to check with your professor. Now, coming up after the break, more trouble for the trees at Toomer's Corner in Auburn.
Plus, this year has been a nasty cold season. Find out what you need to know to stay healthy for the holidays.
Welcome back to Falcon Weekly.
In world news, the death toll in Gaza has now reached 100. As fighting between Israel and Gaza-based militants from Hamas continues right along with talks for potential ceasefire, Emily Schmidt has the story.
The air fight is taking its toll on the ground in Gaza. Buildings destroyed, families too. In the deadliest attacks so far, Palestinian health officials say an Israeli airstrike killed 10 relatives. This mother lost her 2- and 4-year-old children in Gaza City. She says, "I am in shock. I don't believe it." It's the 6th day of Israel's air offensive against Gaza militants targeted because of rocket attacks against Israel. The 2nd day in a row this Gaza City office was hit. Palestinian sources say a Palestinian information leader was killed in the attack, 2 children wounded.
Clearly, Israel sees the media outlets in Gaza as a means to distribute what they would call operational information. So in their mind, it meets the criteria for engagement.
Israel has called up 75,000 reservists and gathered tanks near the Palestinian border. A Hamas leader says although Palestinians don't want a ground war, they do not fear it.
that we will not accept any Israeli conditions because they're the one who committed the aggression.
Israel's president blames Hamas.
They are really producers of death and without any consideration.
It hardly sounds like language for a ceasefire, though an Egyptian general involved in negotiations says he's optimistic about progress so far. One analyst says a sustained ceasefire requires two things.
You have to, in effect, create a victory speech for both Hamas and Israel.
A speech that's still lost in translation. In Washington, I'm Emily Schmidt.
During a CNN live shot on Sunday, an explosion in Gaza had Anderson Cooper ducking for cover. Take a look.
Family, also two media centers.
Cooper said it was the largest explosion he'd heard in the past hour, and it was not clear where it had occurred. Luckily, Cooper and his crew were not hurt.
Switching to local news, Tuscaloosa police are asking for your help to identify a woman accused of forgery. The woman shown here stole credit cards and checks on October 12th. She then cashed the checks at the victim's bank on the same day. Anyone who can identify this woman should contact Tuscaloosa County Crime Stoppers at 205-752-7867 or text TUSC and the woman's information to 274637.
Auburn fans faced disappointment this weekend, even after they celebrated their victory against Alabama A&M. As the oak trees waved the tissue as a banner of success, they mysteriously caught fire early Sunday morning. The Auburn Plainsman reported that the fire department gave no cause for the fire that was quickly put out. The Oaks were already in danger from last year's poisoning by Alabama fan Harvey Updike. The Auburn Police Department is still investigating the fire.
Many people are thankful this year for the price of gas as they plan to travel for the holiday season. Although gas prices are higher in some regions hit by Sandy, for most areas they have dropped more than 7 cents over the past 2 weeks, resulting in a national average of $3.47 a gallon. Experts say prices are down because of the lower demand. The study showed the highest price in Long Island, New York at $4.18, while the lowest was found in Memphis, Tennessee at $3.08. Montevallo is included as one of the areas with low prices. You can find local gas prices as low as $3.17 at the Marathon located on Middle Street. Only 2 cents more than the highest price comes in $3.19 in various locations.
Twihards flooded theaters to see the final installment in the Twilight film franchise. Find out how Breaking Dawn Part 2 did at the box office.
And clowns are supposed to be funny, but this one was not clowning around. We'll tell you why he was fighting with a police officer coming up on Falcon Weekly. Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. The biggest names in music turned out for last night's American Music Awards.
And the act that had everyone talking last night was Korean pop sensation Psy performing with MC Hammer. Psy took to the stage with MC Hammer to perform a mashup of Gangnam Style and Hammer's Too Legit to Quit. The audience really got into it, dancing and singing, of course. The night was really about awards. Here are some of the winners. Some of those winners were Luke Bryan for Country Male Artist, Carrie Underwood won for Favorite Country Album, Usher won Best Male Soul R&B Performer, American Idol judge Nicki Minaj won for Best Rap Hip Hop Album, and Justin Bieber won Artist of the Year.
Vampires took a huge bite out of the weekend box office. Millions of moviegoers packed theaters to see the final installment of the Twilight series, Breaking Dawn Part 2, brought in more than $141 million in its debut weekend in the U.S. James Bond worked his spy magic to clinch the number 2 spot. Skyfall ticket sales slipped to $41.5 million.
Switching gears to health news, isn't it interesting that when the weather gets cold, we get sick? But do the chilly temps really cause us to catch a cold? Doctors say no. According to health experts, there are 200 viruses that can cause a cold, and they're everywhere year-round. So why do we get colds in winter months? Experts say it's because people stay indoors, and germs are more easily spread because people are in close quarters. Experts say washing your hands thoroughly gets rid of the germs. If you are sick, stay home and don't infect those around you. Doctors say bed rest, liquids, and TLC are the best ways to get rid of the common cold.
Where do you keep your cell phone? Some people keep them in their pocket or purse, but many women keep theirs tucked away in their bras. And this has been linked to health issues in young women. Many young women are getting breast cancer, and doctors are linking the cases to cell phones. The dots on this woman mark the spots where her tumors developed, and they match the area where her phone touched her skin when she placed her phone in her bra. She had to have a mastectomy after storing her cell phone in her bra for 10 years. Breast cancer is even being seen more in men who keep their cell phones stored in their front shirt pockets.
In weather news, victims of Hurricane Sandy are still getting help from the Red Cross through donations. As of Friday morning, the Red Cross has raised over $140 million. The Red Cross is using the money it receives to operate shelters, offer food and water, and other relief supplies to the victims of the storm. The Red Cross has set up more than 450 shelters in 10 states since Sandy hit. They have also handed out more than 6 million meals.
Superstorm Sandy left many people in the dark and even more without cell phone service. New York Senator Charles Schumer wants to make sure this doesn't happen the next time a storm hits.
The goal is simple, that no matter what the disaster, there's uninterrupted cell phone service for our first responders and for our citizens who lost power and need food, need to report fires, need to communicate in every.
And now Mandy Hawkins joins us with a look at weather.
How are things going this week, Mandy?
Well, we can expect some great weather for this Thanksgiving weekend, guys. No rain, and we're going to have a lot of sunny days.
Take a look at the weather.
Today we're going to have our high getting up into the 60s, and our low is going to get around 44. And Tuesday and Wednesday, our temperature is going to get back up to the 70s. With Tuesday it being 71, and it's going to be a little partly cloudy, but it's still going to be a great day. And on Wednesday, it's going to be 70 again. And that's going to go over to Thanksgiving Day, and on Thursday, we're going to have a great day. It's going to be pretty, it's going to be hot until that night. So if you're going out for Black Friday shopping and you're starting that night, just remember it's going to get a little cold. And on Friday, it's going to get warmer as the day goes on. We're going to get the temperature back up to 69 degrees, and Saturday going to be a great day for football. Weather's going to be up to about 60 degrees on Saturday and getting down to about 32 that night. So if you're going to the game, just remember to be warm. And on Sunday, it's going to still stay a little cool at 59 and low getting down to 38. That's off weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mandy.
So it was a wild weekend in sports, Coleman.
Absolutely, and Bama fans were not the only ones losing their minds this weekend. We'll see what had the media rolling at Les Miles' post-game interview.
Welcome back. I'm Coleman Sears. It was a big weekend in the sports world with Bama jumping back into the national title race, Les Miles letting his Mad Hatter shine through, and locally, the Women Falcons picked up their first win of the season. After a rough start to the season, the Women Falcons put a halt to their 5-game losing streak. The women traveled to Florence, Alabama to take on the Lions of North Alabama. They would pull off the big road win 72-69 with sophomore Taylor Beverly leading the way for the Falcons, getting her first double-double of the season. The women travel to West Georgia on the 20th for their next match before Thanksgiving break. Tip-off for that game is at 6. The University of Montevallo men's basketball team fell to Anderton University 69-65 on the road this weekend. It was a rematch of last season's NCAA Division II Southeast Region Championship game. Anderson closed out the game with an 11-0 run to escape with a dramatic come-from-behind victory. Senior Drico Hightower led the Falcons with 17 points. Fellow senior Marvin Fitzgerald and sophomore Teron Brown added 12 points each. Montevallo returns to action November 20th when it hosts Tennessee Wesleyan College in a non-conference game at Bank Trust Arena. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Now, 4 members of the University of Montevallo's men's soccer team were named to the Daktronics NCAA Division II All-Southeast Region teams, which were announced earlier today. Junior goalkeeper Brendan Ledgway and junior defender Gary O'Neill, along with freshman forward Piero Manga, were among the Montevallo players who were named first-team All-Southeast Region. Senior defender Mike Renzema was also named. He was named to the second-team All-Southeast Region. Ledgways, a native of York, England, was also named the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year, and first-team All-Peach Belt Conference after leading conference goalkeepers with a 0.65 goals against average. Ledgeway also finished second among conference goalkeepers with a .817 save percentage while posting 10 shutouts this season, a very impressive mark. Congratulations, guys, on the fine season. We can't wait to see what you got for us next year. In other Falcons news, women's soccer head coach Patricia Hughes has been promoted to Assistant Athletic Director for External Relations. Athletic Director Jim Hurley, he made the announcement on November 19th. He said, Trish has played a key role in our growth and success here at Montevallo. He went on to say, I am excited that she has accepted a more prominent role as we work to build an aggressive vision for Montevallo Athletics as it relates to raising money for facilities, identifying new revenue streams, engaging with our communities, and leading our new strategic plan. In her new capacity, Hughes will manage and coordinate the external relations for the athletic department, including community engagement, game environment, sponsorship, fundraising, tickets, and special events. Well, with the Iron Bowl right around the corner, the Auburn Tigers are looking to turn up their sputtering offense and get it going. They had the chance to do just that against the up-and-coming Bulldogs of Alabama A&M. It was on Senior Day on the Plains, and veterans wanted to end their career with a win at home. They did just that, drumming the Bulldogs to the beat of 51-7. Trey Mason and Ontario McCaleb led the way for the Tigers, rushing for 181 and 104 yards respectively, both adding 2 touchdowns. Freshman Jonathan Wallace went 10 for 18 with 171 yards passing with a touchdown of his own. For A&M, a local boy from Calera, Kadarius Spud Lacey, was the silver lining for the Bulldogs with 12 carries for 41 yards. Well, a week after the top-ranked Tide lost to Johnny Manziel, and the Aggies, the Western Carolina Catamounts, rolled into Tuscaloosa for what many called a cupcake weekend in the SEC. Alabama's Eddie Lacy had a 7-yard touchdown early in the game. He added 3 touchdowns on the day. And late in the second quarter, Alabama's A.J. McCarron would connect with Christian Jones for a 29-yard touchdown strike. That would put Alabama up 28-0. And later in the second quarter, now up 35-0, Western Carolina would try a little trickery, but the ball would pop loose, and Dion Ballou would scoop it up and take it all the way back to the house, 57 yards for the touchdown. The final on the day would be 49-0. Alabama would roll. Well, the upset bug ran rampant in college football this weekend, and Baylor's Brittany Griner broke an NCAA record the same night her team's 42-game winning streak was halted. For more on this weekend's highs and lows, here's Joe Carter. Well, with Alabama back in the driver's seat for the SEC and controlling their own destiny, Notre Dame has a chance to claim their spot in the national title game with a win over the down-and-out USC Trojans. But what happens if the Irish flop in California? Well, if all goes according to plan for the reigning champs, they would be in the final dance with the number 3 Florida Gators grabbing the second spot. That's if they can stand up against the onslaught from E.J. Manuel and the Seminoles. Even if the Tide lose to Georgia, that will give the Bulldogs the chance to win the SEC its 7th consecutive national title. It's not enough that the SEC has that opportunity, but the slim chance that there could be another all-SEC national championship game just adds on to the fatigue for the conference and just makes it that much more renowned. But after this crazy weekend, we'll all just have to sit back and watch and see how the future unfolds. Speaking of crazy, Les Miles went on another one of his famous rants this weekend. In his post-game interview after his team squeaked by the Rebels of Ole Miss, Miles wanted to let everyone know that he believed in his team.
How freaking easy it would have been to say it's their night. How easy. Excuse my language. Spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth if you're a girl. Wow, what a game! Ah, are you kidding me? When Odell Beckham was going up, I felt like a bowler at the bowling lane. Anyways, questions?
Well, that's all the sports I've got for you this week.
Oh, Les Miles, he's getting ready for Mardi Gras, isn't he? Looks like.
I'm telling you, Les Miles is crazy.
He's officially lost it.
Finally today, a clown gets in trouble with the law, and a teen makes a wooden bicycle.
Plus, what has President Obama making a funny face? April Williams introduces us to this week's viral videos.
Take a look at this. There's no clowning around here. A man in a clown suit comes to blows with a Milwaukee police officer. Mitch Cooper said he couldn't believe his eyes when he pulled up to a stop sign and noticed the commotion.
What's going through my head is, a cop is beating up a clown. Like, how can I not capture this on video and show it to all my friends?
The man in the clown suit was identified as a local activist and is often seen outside of City Hall. Police say they'd received complaints that he was chasing cars with a squirt gun. They say the clown resisted arrest and was charged with disorderly conduct. This Georgia teen is turning more than just heads with one of his new creations, a wooden bike he built in his basement. 15-year-old Colin Grave, who's homeschooled, says he got bored with his physics homework and decided to build a bike. It was made from a single sheet of plywood and makes for a bumpy ride.
A couple friends have ridden it, and Dad's ridden it. No one has actually asked to ride it again.
Here's a look you probably have never seen before from President Obama. He recently met with members of the 2012 U.S. Olympic gymnastics team, where he posed with gymnast Michaela Maroney, imitating her infamous "not impressed" look. Maroney won a silver medal and during the ceremony was caught making a similar face. For Take a Look at This, I'm April Williams.
That's all the time we have for this week.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to tune in again next time. We hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.